The 10 strongest dogs in each country. Across history, some dogs were never meant to be ordinary pets. They stood beside warriors, guarded ancient kingdoms, and faced predators that most humans would never dare confront. These aren't just dogs, they are living legends. Today, we'll travel across the world to discover the 10 nations that gave birth to the strongest canine guardians ever known. But as this journey unfolds, you'll realize that true strength isn't measured by muscles alone. Sometimes it's measured by courage, sacrifice, and unwavering loyalty. Each of the nations that make up this incredible list has its own champion, its own guardian, its own beast. And in this video, we will take you on a trip around the world to introduce you to those 10 countries that have developed the strongest and most powerful dogs that exist today. Many of them were raised in nations where danger, fear, and uncertainty were not simply a distant feeling, but a cruel and harsh reality. Definitely, there are breeds on this list that will leave you speechless, and you are about to understand why many experts consider these 10 surprising dogs as the creatures raised by the most powerful men that have ever existed. But before starting with this fascinating tour, it is important to clarify that when we talk about the strongest dogs, we do not refer only to their size or brute strength, since their true power goes far beyond their anatomy. We are talking about ancestral lineages forged for centuries, of a courage and resistance that few beings on Earth can match, and of a loyalty that in the most difficult moments simply does not know limits. So if you are ready for a good dose of strong emotions, let's get started. In the 10th place of this fascinating trip, every great journey has a beginning. Our first stop takes us to a land where ancient civilizations believed some dogs possessed a spiritual purpose. Their strength wasn't only respected, it was worshipped. We have the country of Mexico. We start this story in the land of the mariachis, and that also, throughout its rich history and culture, a breed as iconic as the small and famous Chihuahua was born. However, we are not here to talk about this tiny dog, since in these ancient lands, a much more imposing breed also emerged centuries ago. In fact, it is something curious, since when most people think of powerful dogs, they probably do not think of Mexico as a nation where breeds of this style have emerged, although that is about to change. This is the majestic Kalupo, also known as the Mexican wolf dog. Its name is not a simple coincidence, since this animal has such an ancient and fascinating history that many experts consider it one of the most mysterious and unique dogs of the entire American continent. The Kalupo is a breed that dates from the pre-Hispanic era, and for centuries, Mesoamerican civilizations raised it selectively, crossing domestic dogs with wild wolves that inhabited the region. The result was an imposing creature with a robust texture, predominantly black fur, and a presence that literally stops the gaze. Without a doubt, this is one of those dogs that never go unnoticed. However, its power is not only in its appearance. The Kalupo is an animal of surprising intelligence, with extremely developed herd instincts and a physical ability that combines resistance, speed, and a strength that few breeds manage to match. We are facing a powerful warrior who was raised to survive, protect, and lead. During the Aztec era, this dog was not a simple pet, but a sacred symbol. It was associated with Xolo, the Aztec god of lightning and death, and it was believed that the Kalupos guided the souls of the deceased into the underworld. That speaks not only of its physical strength, but of the cultural and historical weight that this breed carries on its back. Today, the Kalupo is considered a natural and cultural heritage of Mexico, and its breeding is regulated and protected by the state. This is not a breed that you find anywhere, and that is precisely what makes it even more special in some way. Although this incredible journey has just begun, it is the country of Mexico that opens the doors of this top, with a powerful dog that definitely carries in its blood the legacy of an ancient and powerful civilization. A guardian born from ancient myths and wild blood. It seems almost impossible that such a remarkable dog could remain so unknown outside its homeland. But as incredible as the Kalupo is, our next country raises the stakes even higher. Our next destination doesn't rely on one legendary breed. It brings three. each created with a different purpose, yet all sharing one terrifying characteristic: raw, unstoppable power. Already in ninth place, we find the American giant, United States. And yes, it was inevitable. The most powerful nation in the Western world also has its place in this top, and it does so in a way that few expected, because it does not come with a single representative, but with three. And it is that in the United States, three breeds emerged that, despite being relatively modern and at the same time very different from each other, share a common denominator impossible to ignore: an uncommon physical strength, an unbreakable determination, and a presence that imposes respect from the first moment. The first is the American Staffordshire Terrier, a breed that many confuse with the famous Pit Bull Terrier for its silhouette and physical texture, but that has its own well-defined identity. Popularly known as Amstaff, this is a compact and powerful musculature dog with a jaw that generates a surprising bite pressure for its size. But what really distinguishes it is its character: brave, loyal to the bones, and with an energy that seems inexhaustible. It was originally raised for hard work, and that is noticeable in each fiber of its body. The second is the American Bully, a relatively modern breed developed in the last decades of the 20th century, which took the best of several lines of American bulldogs and terriers to create something truly unique. With a massive complexion, a wide chest like a wall, and a musculature that looks sculpted in stone, the American Bully is perhaps one of the most imposing-looking dogs that exist today in the world. However, behind that intimidating appearance, there is a surprisingly affectionate and balanced character, although its enormous physical potential should never be underestimated. And the third is undoubtedly the least known, and at the same time the most fearsome of the three: the powerful American Bandit. Although it is not an officially recognized breed, this impressive dog is the result of crossing some types of mastiffs with pit bulls, thus creating a machine of protection of enormous proportions. Muscular, territorial, with a devastating bite, and a guardian instinct that few dogs in the world can match. The Bandit is not a dog for anyone. It is a dog for those who know exactly what they have in their hands. Three incredible breeds, one country, and one conclusion. When the United States decides to create power, it always does it big. Three different stories, three different warriors, yet all proving that strength can take many forms. But the next country is home to a dog so majestic that for centuries, people believed it belonged among kings and monks rather than ordinary families. Coming in at number 8, we have... Imagine standing alone in the freezing mountains, then seeing a creature emerge through the mist, larger than any dog you've ever seen. For a brief moment, you might even mistake it for a lion. If there is a country that throughout the millennia of history has been able to forge not only one of the oldest and most powerful civilizations in the world, but also some of the most imposing creatures that have ever set foot on Earth, that is undoubtedly the Asian giant. Because while the Western world was just beginning to take its first steps, in the remote and icy mountains of Tibet, there already existed a breed that the Buddhist monks themselves considered sacred, and that was also used by the ancient nomads of the Himalayas to protect their villages from threats that would make anyone tremble. We are facing such a majestic and imposing animal that even today, many centuries later, continues to generate a unique mixture of fascination, respect, and some fear. This is the imposing Tibetan Mastiff, a dog that does not look like any other. Colossal in size, with a dense and majestic mane that inevitably resembles that of a lion, and a deep gaze that seems to be loaded with centuries of history. The Tibetan Mastiff can easily exceed 80 kilograms, and its mere presence is enough to dissuade any intruder, whether human or animal. But what really makes this breed special is not only its size, but its character. This is an independent dog, extremely territorial, and with such a rooted instinct of protection in its genetics that it does not need training to exercise it, since it has been in its blood for thousands of years. As we mentioned at the beginning, it was for centuries the guardian of Buddhist monasteries and caravans that crossed the most inhospitable mountains on the planet. facing without a doubt fearsome predators such as wolves, snow leopards, and even ferocious bears. Today, the Tibetan Mastiff is considered one of the most exclusive and prized dogs in the world. In China, owning one of them became a symbol of status and power, selling copies for figures that exceed $1 million, which is really shocking. Without a doubt, after meeting this impressive colossus, no one can be surprised that China is the one that deserves the 8th place in our top. A guardian powerful enough to protect monasteries hidden among the highest mountains on Earth. But despite its enormous strength, another nation has produced not 1, but 4 legendary protectors waiting ahead. The 7th place on our tour is occupied by England. Some countries shaped history through wars and empires. Others left their mark through the incredible animals they created. England managed to do both. When we think of this ancient and powerful nation, we probably think of images of royalty, the Tea of the Five, or the iconic guards of Buckingham Palace. But what perhaps very few know is that this same nation that gave the world refinement and elegance also gave it some of the most powerful, most resistant, and most feared canine breeds that exist. And like its North American cousin in one of the previous positions, England does not come with a single representative, but with 4. The first of them is the imposing English Mastiff. And let's face it, we are facing one of the largest and heaviest dogs in the world. With specimens that have exceeded 100 kilos, the English Mastiff is a mountain of muscles and determination. It was used for centuries as a war dog, as a house dog, and as a guard dog. And its bite is one of the most powerful that have been registered in the entire canine species. However, this is a giant that, despite its imposing and massive appearance, is known for its calm temperament and its deep loyalty to its family. The second great English colossus is the Bull Mastiff. This powerful dog is the result of crossing the same English Mastiff with the ancient English Bulldog, thus creating a more compact and agile dog than its predecessor, but equally devastating in strength and determination. It was developed specifically to protect the large properties and farms of herd hunters during the 19th century, and did so in a brutally effective way. It tracked the intruder, knocked him down, and immobilized him without the need to bite him, being a dog that was literally designed to subdue. The third is the fearsome Pit Bull Terrier, perhaps the most famous, controversial, and misinterpreted breed, not only of this entire list, but of the entire world. It was initially raised to participate in the brutal fights of dogs and bulls, activities that were sadly legal and very popular in the 19th century. The Pit Bull Terrier is today synonymous with strength, explosive agility, and relentless determination. A breed that in the right hands is incredibly loyal and affectionate, but whose physical potential should never be underestimated, as poor training can lead to severe and even fatal consequences. The fourth member of this select group is the fascinating Bull Terrier, a dog that at first glance may seem less imposing than the previous ones, but that hides in that compact and muscular body a truly extraordinary strength. With its characteristic oval head and that intense gaze that leaves no one indifferent, the Bull Terrier was also sadly raised for dogfights, having a tolerance for pain and a tenacity in combat that very few in the world can match. With these 4 powerful breeds born on the same island, England shows us that the true canine power does not understand sizes or appearances. Almost halfway through our list, in 6th place. As our journey continues, we arrive in the homeland of gladiators and emperors. Here, power wasn't admired, it was expected. And the dogs born from this ancient empire still carry that fearless spirit today. In 6th place, we have Italy. The country that gave the world the art of the Renaissance, the most admired gastronomy on the planet, and one of the richest and most passionate stories of all Western civilization, also has a lot to say in this top. Because Italy was not only the cradle of emperors and gladiators, it was also the cradle of some of the oldest, most powerful, and imposing canine breeds of the canine kingdom. And in this place, Italy brings us 2 representatives who have something very special in common. Both descend directly from the legendary dogs of the Roman Empire War. the same dogs that marched with the Roman legions in their conquests through the ancient world. The first is the Maston Neapolitan, a breed that seems to come directly from an epic film about ancient Rome, and it is no coincidence. With massive texture, wrinkled skin that hangs in large folds on its powerful body, and a deep and serious gaze that transmits a silent but absolutely undeniable authority. The Neapolitan Maston can weigh more than 70 kilos, and its bite is one of the most devastating of this entire list. It was used for centuries as a guard dog, for war and protection of the great Italian villages, and its mere presence was enough to make any hostile intention reconsidered. The second is the powerful Cane Corso, and if the Neapolitan Maston imposes by its volume, the Cane Corso imposes by its athleticism. More agile, faster, and perhaps more versatile than its compatriot, this is a defined musculature dog, because of its elegance and an intensity in the gaze that is difficult to ignore. It was also used as a war dog, as a housekeeper and property guardian, and combines an extraordinary physical strength with an intelligence and a training capacity that make it one of the most complete dogs on this entire list. These are two impressive and ancient breeds born in the same land that saw the most powerful empire in ancient history be born. Without a doubt, Italy comes very deservedly to this top, with the strength and legacy of Rome engraved in the blood of its dogs. Already starting with the top 5 of our trip, now we've reached the point where only the greatest remain. Every breed from this moment onward earned its place through extraordinary courage, unmatched determination, and stories that still inspire dog lovers around the world. In 5th place, we have the great Argentine nation, and here we have to take a special break because we arrive in the country of the South with a very rich history and culture. Home not only of authentic sporting legends like Lionel Messi, Diego Maradona, or Juan Manuel Fangio, but also the only country in all of Latin America that appears on this list with a truly powerful representative, and does so in a way that makes all dog lovers on this side of the world deeply proud. In these South American lands, with vast and imposing landscapes like its own pampas and mountain ranges, a breed was born that is now recognized and admired on the 5 continents, which was not the product of centuries of natural evolution, but of a vision, a dream, and the determination of a single man who wanted to create something that had never existed before. This is the magnificent Argentine Dogo. Created in the 1920s by the Dr. Antonio Norris Martinez, the Argentine Dogo was the result of a selective cross process that combined the blood of the extinct Pelea Cordobés dog with breeds such as the Spanish Maston, the Great Danish, the Boxer, and the English Bulldog, among several others. The goal was clear: to create a larger hunting dog and also for the defense of the cattle, which was capable of facing without fear the dangerous intruders and predators that inhabit the region, such as the strong wild boars and the ferocious pumas, in the most demanding terrains of Argentina. And go if he did it. The Argentine Dogo is a dog with athletic texture and imposing musculature, with a short and completely white coat that makes him unmistakable. This formidable warrior has one of the most powerful bites of the canine kingdom. But what really distinguishes him is not only his appearance and great physical power, but his unique combination of courage, intelligence, and emotional balance. It is a dog that can face a wild prey in the middle of the mountain and at the same time be a deeply loyal and affectionate companion to his family. Today, this majestic dog is the only original breed of Argentina officially recognized by the International Cynological Federation. A historical achievement that speaks for itself of the impact that this breed has had on the entire world. Argentina comes in 5th place with a dog that is not only one of the most powerful, but a true national symbol. A masterful biological work made to resist and overcome in some of the hardest and most dangerous terrains on the planet, where only the strongest survive. But surviving isn't always enough. The next guardian was born where fire shaped the land itself. A dog forged among volcanic islands, carrying the same untamed spirit as the earth beneath its feet. Already in the 4th place of our tour, we have Spain, If there is a European nation that throughout its history has shown to have a character as passionate as imposing, that is undoubtedly the land of flamenco, bullfighting, and a culture that has been leaving its mark on the whole world for centuries. Precisely from that same land, a breed emerged that bears engraved in its own name the essence of its place of origin. Because this dog was not born on the Iberian Peninsula, but in an Atlantic archipelago of volcanic landscapes and wild nature, which many consider one of the most beautiful places that Spain has to offer. Some dogs protect because they are trained to. Others protect because it's written into every instinct they possess. The breed you're about to meet belongs to the second group. This is the powerful Canary Prey, or also officially recognized as Dogo Canario, a breed born on the Canary Islands, that set of volcanic islands located off the coasts of northeastern Africa, which for centuries was a meeting point between Europe, Africa, and America. The Canary Prey is a dog with massive texture and dense musculature, with a square and wide head that transmits an absolutely unmistakable solidity and determination. Its gaze is serious, deep, and calculating. It is not the type of dog that acts on impulse. It is the type of dog that evaluates, that measures, and that when it decides to act, it does so with a force that can set aside anyone who crosses its path. It was historically used for cattle work and property protection on the islands, and also sadly for dog fights that were common in the region during the past centuries. That story forged in the Canary Prey a dominant territorial character and confidence in itself that few breeds manage to project in the same way. With a devastating bite and a body that can exceed 60 kilograms of pure muscle, the Canary Prey is today recognized worldwide as one of the most effective and respected guardian dogs in the entire canine kingdom. Definitely, Spain comes in at number 4 with a powerful dog that carries within it the fire of the same volcanic islands that saw it born. Power forged by volcanic landscapes is extraordinary. But our next destination raises the stakes once again. This time we travel to a continent where nature shows no mercy, and only the toughest creatures survive. Imagine living on a farm where the danger doesn't come from thieves alone, but from predators powerful enough to challenge almost any living creature. In such a place, an ordinary dog would never be enough. Reaching the third step of the podium, we have South Africa. This African country has something very important to say in our ranking, and many perhaps did not expect to see it in this position. However, despite not being the first that comes to mind when we think of powerful canine breeds, it brings us such a formidable representative that he earned his place in the top 3 of this list with absolute justice. This is the relentless Boerboel. Its name comes from the Afrikaans, the language of the Dutch settlers who came to these lands centuries ago, and it literally means farm dog. But do not be fooled by that apparent simplicity in the name, because this dog has absolutely nothing simple. The Boerboel is a breed of colossal proportions, with a dense and compact musculature that makes it one of the most solid and robust dogs on the planet. It can weigh more than 90 kilos, and its bite is considered by many experts as one of the most powerful that have been registered in the entire canine species, a fact that in itself already says a lot. However, the truly fascinating thing about the Boerboel is the story behind that strength, because this dog was raised in one of the most hostile and dangerous environments in the world, in the vast and wild South African lands, where the settlers needed a guardian capable of protecting their farms and their families from threats that included some of the most fearsome predators in the animal kingdom. And the Boerboel was not only up to that challenge, but was able to overcome it with growth. Unlike other dogs of his size, this colossus combines that uncommon strength with surprising agility and a sharp intelligence that makes it equally effective both in protection and at work. It is a dog that thinks before acting, and that evaluates each situation with a calm that contrasts powerfully with the devastation it is capable of generating when the circumstances require it. South Africa comes in third place, with a dog that was literally forged by the wildest land on the African continent. A silent warrior who does not need to make noise for everyone to know the terror he is capable of unleashing, and that only with his simple presence is more than enough to dissuade almost any threat. A giant born to face Africa's unforgiving wilderness. Yet even this fearless protector falls short of the two legendary guardians that still await us. As we climb closer to the top, the environments become colder, the challenges harsher, and the dogs even more extraordinary. Our next stop takes us to a land where winter itself becomes an enemy. Almost at the top of our journey, in second place, we have Russia. And this position is like a ring on the finger of the largest nation in the world, because if there is a country on the planet whose history, culture, and geography breathe power in each of its corners, that is undoubtedly the Russian giant, a country of brutal winters, endless landscapes, and a national fortress that has been etched in the books of history. And it is precisely in that context, in those cold, vast, and relentless lands, where one of the most imposing, feared, and respected canine breeds that exist in the entire world was born and was forged. This is the legendary Caucasian Shepherd, also known as the Caucasian Shepherd. As its name suggests, this breed is native to the mountains of the Caucasus, that mountain range that separates Europe from Asia and that for centuries was the scene of some of the most extreme climates and living conditions that a living being can face. Every scar, every generation, every instinct was shaped by centuries of survival. This wasn't simply a dog, it became a living fortress standing between its family and death itself. It was precisely in that hostile environment where this true colossus was raised, selected and perfected for thousands of years to do one thing: protect his own with everything he has. Without a doubt, we are facing a dog of truly impressive dimensions, with specimens that exceed 90 kilograms, and with a height that in some cases can reach the meter. The Caucasian Shepherd is one of the largest and heaviest dogs in the world. Its dense and abundant fur, which protects it from temperatures that can drop to 40 degrees below zero, gives it an almost mythical appearance, as if we were facing a creature taken from an ancient legend. However, its size is just the beginning, because the Caucasian Shepherd has a character as formidable as its body. It is an extremely territorial dog, of unbreakable bravery, and with a protection instinct so powerful that for centuries it was used to protect herds of wolves and bears in the mountains of the Caucasus. In fact, even today it is used by the penitentiary staff of the guard in the same Russian prisons, which shows us that this colossal dog does not back down to anyone. The Caucasian Shepherd, it comes in second place with a mountain beast that seems to have been sculpted by the most cruel of the winters. A guardian who has been in his blood for thousands of years of history, ferocity, and absolute loyalty to those he considers part of his own. Now, before meeting the incredible dog that takes first place, we would like to briefly mention only some of the many other countries that, although they did not make the top, deserve at least to be mentioned and recognized not only for their great history and culture, but also for the great lineage that the powerful dogs that emerged in each of them carry in their blood. We start with Germany, and we could not leave without mentioning the ancient Teutonic nation, full of history and being one of the great protagonists of transcendental events such as world wars. If we talk about the dogs that emerged in this great nation, we still have endless iconic breeds, among which we can highlight the powerful Rottweiler, the majestic German Shepherd, the imposing Doberman, and the Great Danish. Then we have Japan, the country of the rising sun and home of the powerful samurais, one of the oldest and most legendary cultures on the planet. And the canine breeds that emerged here could not be less. We are talking about the noble Akita Inu and the relentless Tosa Inu, two races so iconic and important for their people that they even have their own social status. And another country that we have to highlight is Brazil itself, the nation of football, the warm beaches, and with an almost unmistakable energy, is another one that we could not miss mentioning. And in terms of powerful breeds that emerged in this nation, it is the relentless Brazilian Fila, who undoubtedly carries in its blood a great legacy of courage and power. These three countries, despite not being present on our list, have definitely also been the cradle of some of the most iconic and powerful breeds of the entire canine kingdom. And now, we've arrived at the moment you've been waiting for. Across thousands of years, countless civilizations created fearless guardians, but only one breed has earned the reputation of standing above them all. Finally, we have reached the country that occupies position number 1, and we are talking about neither more nor less than Turkey. The nation that crowns this fascinating top could not be just any, because Turkey is the country that is located on the exact crossroads between the East and the West, between Europe and Asia, between the ancient and the modern, a civilization that has been writing history for thousands of years, and that today has the honor of introducing us to the dog that, according to many experts, breeders, and specialists in canine breeds around the world, holds the title of the most powerful animal that the canine species has ever produced. This is the impressive Turkish Kangal, native to the Sivas region in the heart of Turkish Anatolia. The Kangal is a breed with a history that dates back thousands of years. It was raised by the ancient shepherds of the region to carry out a task that few dogs in the world would be able to face. Protect the herds night after night, this guardian stood alone between helpless livestock and hungry predators. No backup, no hesitation, only instinct, courage, and an unbreakable promise to protect of the most dangerous predators in Central Asia. Wolves, jackals, and even big bears were just some of the many challenges that this powerful warrior had to face on his own. Not like a trained attack dog, but like a born guardian that acts by pure instinct, and the figures that support his power are simply devastating. The Turkish Kangal has the second strongest bite recorded of the entire canine species, with a force that exceeds 700 psi. To put it in perspective, an adult lion on average bites with approximately 650 psi. Numbers alone don't tell the whole story. The Kangal's greatest weapon has never been its bite. It's the confidence to face danger without fear, even when standing alone against predators much larger than itself. And the Kangal outperforms him. A dog that is capable of biting harder than a lion is truly impressive. But this powerful guardian is not just brute force, and the Kangal outperforms him. A dog that is capable of biting harder than a lion is truly impressive. But this powerful guardian is not just brute force, as it also has extraordinary intelligence, a serenity that contrasts powerfully with its destructive ability, and at the same time a loyalty to its family and herd that has no comparison in the canine world. It is not aggressive by nature, but rather calculating, patient, and absolutely relentless when the situation requires it. Turkey crowns this top with a dog that does not need introductions in the steppes of Central Asia, because in those places where some of the fiercest predators on the planet inhabit, it is where the Kangal managed to impose itself, becoming a truly fearsome guardian and leaving a millennial legacy of guard and protection that even today remains more active than ever. The incredible countries and places every breed you've seen today carries more than incredible strength. They carry the history of the people who raised them, the hardships of the lands they protected, and generations of loyalty that no measurement can truly capture. Behind every powerful guardian lies a story of courage, sacrifice, and an unbreakable bond between humans and dogs, a bond that has survived for thousands of years. That we have just toured on this trip did not simply raise powerful dogs, since each of these fabulous breeds are the result of thousands of years of learning and selective breeding that in many cases arose as a direct response to those threats that lurked in their original region. Many of them have been forged in some of the most demanding and wild environments on the planet. And despite their different shapes and sizes, today they have shown us that the true canine power is capable of exceeding all limits. However, what you have just seen here is just a small part of the story, and if you thought that meeting the strongest dogs in each country was enough to shake you inside, you have not seen anything yet. In fact, there is an even more precise, devastating, and much more shocking type of power, and what you are about to meet in this next video that you are seeing on the screen. But here's the shocking truth. Physical strength doesn't always decide the ultimate champion. Some dogs possess a weapon so devastating that even the mightiest breeds you've seen today cannot match it. In the next video, we'll reveal the 10 dogs with the strongest bite force ever recorded, and trust me, the #1 entry will completely change the way you look at canine power. Click the next video now, because the strongest bite on Earth is waiting for you.